Yep. This is why it's good to have two people. I just broke that bleeder. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And today is not a boat day. Some of you may have watched the Christmas boat parade video where we took the boat out and had it decorated and everything and went out in the lake and did the Christmas boat day parade. Christmas boat parade. We did the Christmas boat parade. And during that trip, I noticed my steering was starting to go pretty bad. Every 4 turns or so, it would start to catch and turn. So we haven't taken a boat out since. So the steering cylinder, at some point last year, we had to top it off. I knew it was leaking a little bit. There's some pitting on the piston on both sides. So I also knew that just doing a seal replacement would just be a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. So instead of just replacing the seals, I decided to go ahead and order a whole new SeaStar assembly. Direct replacement, same exact one that was on there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to install that. We have, I think, everything I need to do it, and if I have time, I may also rebuild the seals on the trim cylinders because they're leaking a little as well. But the goal of today definitely is the steering. Can't take it out without steering right now. It's bad. So again, like I said, this is the permanent fix, not the temporary one. So the current one on here is about 9 years old. The boat's a 2017, so it was originally installed in 2017. Could it be rebuilt? Probably. SeaStar does not sell the piston assembly separately because if there's any abrasion, any kind of corrosion inside the cylinder, replacing it won't fix the problem, so they don't sell it. Probably a liability insurance issue if I had to guess. They do sell the seal replacements for the ends. But again, that's a temporary fix. A good friend of mine got me a good deal on a brand new unit, so I said let's just do it. Watched a couple of YouTube videos on doing it, so it doesn't look too bad. And let's get into it. All right, to start off, we got the unit here. Just opened it up. It's got a manual. Goes through how to install it. It's pretty decent. Not a very complicated install. I was originally going to have someone else do it, but we've got some work going on at the house this year that took a little more money than we anticipated, so we're going to go ahead and do this ourselves this time. All right, so in the bag you've got your ground strap, comes with it. Also, they give you these 2 hoses. One is to fill. This is the fill. Screws into the top of your helm station steering. You screw your bottle onto this, and then you can start pouring it. There's some more hardware in here, some collars, these shims, spacers, nuts, all that stuff, Zerk fittings. So a pretty thorough kit. Get that out of the way, and then you've got the unit itself right here. So this is the unit itself. It's brandy new. You can see everything's nice and clean and new. Basically, we have to take off. We'll turn to the boat real quick. So you gotta take this bolt off, this bolt off. I have a puller. Puller's right here in this bag. Haven't even opened it yet, but I have the puller. A lot of times these get stuck on this shaft, so you have to pull it off. Obviously, you gotta disconnect the lines here. This is your feeds in and one right there. That has to be taken off. And then if you look underneath, there's that bolt right there. That has to come out. So that's where this part here mounts, right here. So that's kind of what holds it to the outboard and not just a bracket. Come around to this side real quick. Same thing on this side. This is that ground strap that I showed you. So this has to be taken off. We're going to remove this one. We have a brand new one. There's no point in saving it. So just a little tip too. People that a couple of videos I watched suggested several days before you do something like this, especially on a boat that's a little older, go ahead and PB blast or whatever penetrating oil you prefer and hit these points just so that it's a little easier to get off when the time comes. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but right there at the tip of my finger is some pitting, and some right here as well, and you can feel that with your fingernail. So this is why I'm just replacing the unit. The previous owner used this boat heavily in salt water. He made several trips down to the Keys every year to do some fishing. And again, on this side, you can see the pitting. And if you can feel it with your fingernail, it's gonna let fluid by. So, and that rough texture, which is really bad right there. I don't know if you can see that one. Right where my fingernail's scraping. That really rough texture is going to eat those seals up. So, and you can see the moisture from the fluid coming out of the seal right now, just from sitting here. And the system's low, very low on fluid right now. So that's what we're working with. First step is I'm going to take off the lines and get any pressure off the system. I'm probably going to crack these bleeders just to be safe. Make sure there's no pressure in the system, which there shouldn't be. I haven't touched it since December. So we're going to crack those lines, get the pressure off the system. I have a drain pan here, catch most of the fluid. I'm hoping. If I need more, I'll get another one. But yeah, so we'll get the lines off. We'll get this thing dismounted, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're cracking the lines loose now. Going slow, just in case there's any pressure. I didn't bother with the bleeders. And right now, like I said, there's no hissing, nothing going on right now. So it should be good. Actually, you know what? I got gloves for this. Hydraulic fluid sucks. Not as bad as gear oil, but it still sucks. So, might as well put them on. So it looks like this. Yeah, that's actually a lock nut, so that's not doing much. Need a bigger size for that. I'm gonna take this line off, this fitting here. And now that I look at it, this elbow on the fitting here actually comes on the new unit, so this is where you should be taking it off anyway. And here comes the mess. Yeah, and you can see, I'll show it later in the video, but you can see that there's crud in this oil. It's definitely not clean. And the color's not bad because we topped it off last year and it took quite a bit of fluid when we did that because we started to notice some slop in the steering. So we topped off the fluid, which is why it doesn't look horrible, but it's definitely, there's definitely some gunk in that. So, which could be an indication that just crud's getting in from the seals, or you got some corrosion inside the cylinder and it's flaking off into the oil. So let's take the other side off real quick. And as you can see, the situation here is not the easiest to work in. It's probably why mechanics charge what they charge for working on boats. But fortunately, I think the way this transom is designed on this boat, I won't have any problems removing it. Sometimes that can be an issue. I don't know that you would ever need to take the motor off the boat to do this job, but certain transom designs can make it a little more difficult from what I've researched. And you can see there's nothing really coming out of this thing. So got that off. Just move this motor back and forth real quick and see. Oh yeah, there you go. There's your mess. Let's try to get some of that fluid out. Alright, so just to make it a little easier when you take it off, it's not spilling everywhere, making even more of a mess. Obviously this whole boat, I'm embarrassed at how filthy it is right now. Where it sits right now, it's, you know, thankfully it's spring, the pollen's kind of stopped here, and there's nothing falling off trees anymore, but I won't show you the inside of the boat right now. It's gross. But, so we got those lines off. Next, we're going to take these horns off. You don't want to take the middle mount off yet, because that's just going to make this a lot harder. It's going to move around. It's going to be a lot harder to work on. So we're going to get the impact out, start getting these nuts off, and see how hard these are to come off. You know, maybe they're good and they don't need to be pulled off with the tool, but we have it just in case. I think the tool was like 50-60 bucks. It was worth it, just to be sure that I was gonna be able to do this in one day and not have to revisit it several times. Okay, nut came off perfectly fine. Brand new hardware in the box, so we're probably not going to reuse this. For those wondering what my power tool brand is, it's Skill. It works great. I'm not a daily mechanic. I picked up the kit, was this and the drill, for I think it was $100, and I've had it for several years now and it works great. So Skill for the win. I've done exhaust work with this thing. It takes everything off. It's great without the Milwaukee price tag. All right, so let me take the other one off. No problem. Okay, so something else I wanted to point out, on the starboard side, you've got this collar right here. This collar right here is what in the kit is this collar right here with the Allen screw in it. I don't know if you can see it in the video right here. So that's what goes there. And then these plastic shims, these plastic ones right here, they go right on this side. So from what I've seen, that's how you make your adjustment, and that collar is how you take any play out of the system once you got everything mounted. So just wanted to point that out real quick before we go on. Now let's see if this moves. I didn't think so. All right, so we got to pull that off. All right, so this is the tool I was talking about. It's just a puller. It's made by Marine Tech. It has a cupped end on it so that it doesn't damage the threads on the shaft. Basically, you're just going to want to get this around it, adjust it out to where it'll fit over, and it's also grabbing the back. I'm hoping this works on this. It's going to be tight, but we'll see. Okay, so we got it over. Just want to tighten it down. And so what happens is, if you've never used a puller before, when you tighten this screw, it pulls, it pushes off of that screw and it pulls the frame part back, which will walk off the bracket. So we're going to tighten this. It's coming off. So I am having a slight issue where the edge of this is touching the gel coat right here. So I'm going to put a rag there, hopefully protect it a little bit. I really don't have any other way to do this, so I don't know if I can get it in a different angle that will work, but we're almost off, so it just needs a little bit more. Yeah, so that's actually, it's bottomed out, so that's okay. So because of the cup on this that protects the threads, I'm as far out as I'm going to be able to get this right now, so I may need to employ some manual manipulation tactics, aka hammer, but we'll see. Let's try something else here. basically I just took another nut and stuck it in between the two, and hopefully that'll give me the room. That worked. So basically all I did was I took this nut right here, and I put it at the top of this. So I put this basically like that. So it gave me something more to push off onto the bolt here without marring up the threads. Let's clean up a little bit. And we'll get the other side. So we're gonna take these. These are the spacers. So there's two on this side, and then the collar with the Allen bolt goes through the other side. So we'll put these over here. We're going to do a thorough cleaning of this stuff too, get any old grease off of it, and then grease it up. So kind of the same process as before. We're gonna see, this collar is presenting a problem here. The other nice part about this Marine Tech tool is if you look at the ball, the head there that's pushing up against that bolt, it's on a bit of a ball. So if you're not on there perfectly, it's still going to work, which is a nice touch. As you can see, this side's a little more stubborn, so I put the impact in turbo mode. It's not really turbo mode, but you know what I'm saying. This side is on there, boys. Try a different position here, see if that'll work. Alright, this one's definitely on there a lot tighter. So we're gonna hopefully some shock therapy. Alright, so the problem is this collar right here. I think if I loosen it, yeah, I'm going to try to loosen that and back it away. Getting that. Now I get this collar coming loose now, which will hopefully give me more room to grab the end here. It's amazing how much corrosion you get over the years. So what I'm doing now is I'm turning that collar. The thread's on, so there's definitely some corrosion involved, so I'm trying to get to the spot where I can spread it, get a little pry in there. You know when you think you thought of every tool you need for the job, but you didn't? I'll be right back. Right, so now most freely. Pretty sure it's shot, but it's a very soft metal. I believe it's brass. So that should give me the room I need to do this. And so what was happening is the end of this One was grabbing the back of the knuckle here. I forget what you call these things. Was grabbing the back of it here, and the other one was creeping off, so it kept doing this, not getting a good bite on the part itself. So hopefully now we can get in there. Yeah, this looks like it'll work much better. It's obviously still on there pretty good, but this will help. So let's give it a shot. Let's do this. Put a rag. You see how this is like just sliding off? I wish that was level. On the new 249 FS, this little section right here, that's like a cooler, is like much bigger than this one, and it's level. All right, let's give it a shot. Still walking off, so see if I can get it to stay. This thing is angry, angry. Big angry. I'm changing positions here, at least to get started. Having a hard time getting this one to budge. It's just not grabbing as good as you'd hope. This fucking thing got completely off. Alright. The one-piece collar is now two-piece. Two-piece. Try it this way now. It's just eating this thing up. I don't know. Let me get the manipulator out here. Wow. This is proving to be way harder than the other side for some reason. It got me thinking I forgot to take something off, but I definitely didn't. I'm 1000% sure it's... When in doubt, PB Blaster. Tell me in the comments what's your favorite penetrating oil. You keep it clean, guys. Come on. He said penetrating. Now just so you guys can see, there's nothing holding this thing on. It's on there. So we got to get this off hopefully soon, because I want to take this boat out this weekend. Well, that might have worked, guys. Oh, negative. Or I'm making it worse. One of the two. Let's see what happens now, though. A lot of you are probably like, oh, 9-year-old boat, it's not that old. This shit should come apart pretty easily. Well, here's your proof. All salt water will definitely complicate things. Thought that was gonna help. There we go. Yeah. All right, before I mess up my gel coat, I'm gonna come this way now. Now we got moved. Should be able to. Yeah, we got clearance too. So, man, she's binding up. All right, so we're off the piston on the cylinder, which might have been causing some of the binding too. All right. If only I had a garage to work in. Yeah, we're off. Ow! It bit me. It's off. Again, the right tools make it worth it. All right, so we got to take. There's one Allen screw that holds that ground strap in. So if I forget, remind me to put the ground strap on, because that would be something that I would do. The gloves are falling apart. All right, so the other thing to note while you have this off, there's some Zerk fittings that are very hard to get to with the steering cylinder in the way. So you've got one here, one there, and you got the same thing on the other side. So you definitely want to hit those while you're in here. You can get to this one pretty easily with the cylinder installed, but this one's definitely a little harder. If you don't have an angle, it's hard to get to. So we're going to make sure we hit those up before we put this cylinder on. But next step, as you can see, she's free. We just got to take that bolt out and we're good to go on that. So do that now. See this little camera? See it? Great for getting into tight spots to get you that shot. So you can see what's going on. And that's what I'm looking at. So. Alright, so the other part of this assembly right here is the top nut. As you can see, I'm taking it off without putting a wrench on that bottom one. And the reason for that is that bottom, the bolt itself threads in. So it's not, this nut is more just a safety, so that if it ever came loose, and it's a nylon, so a chance of it coming off are slim to none. But you can see that they give you a little bit of room to work with it. Not a lot. Okay, I think we're just about off. You don't want to lose this, obviously. Like I just did. It's not far. It didn't go far. Alright, boys. Boop. Got it. Didn't lose it. This is where you want to use a ratchet wrench because it's tight. Unfortunately, you can get this out of your way a little bit, but that's about all you got. Alright, there you go, boys. She's loose. Okay, now she come off. Alright, she's off. So we want to get this bolt out a little bit more though, so you have more room to work with, because it's hanging up a little bit, so that should be good. It's good to have a little bit of that bolt sticking out so you have something to hang the cylinder off of when you install the new one. So it still might be too, yeah, it still needs to go down a little more. Oh, where did it land? You guessed it, right in the oil. Where else would it land? Get this out of the way now, maybe. Nope, not yet. I think we're good now. And just like that, cylinder's out. Oh yeah, there's definitely some good pitting on this one. Don't do that, Rob. Just shot hydraulic fluid everywhere. This is what happens with heavy salt use and not spraying your boat down. All those little pits are basically sandpaper for your seal, and over time it's just going to eat it up. Our next step is going to be to grease those fittings we talked about. Everything's out of your way. Now is the time you want to get in there and get all that stuff greased up, because this greases the shaft here. This greases the pivot that the motor rides on. So you want to make sure those are well lubricated. Again, salt water gets in there, and if the grease isn't there to block it, it's going to eat everything up. So you hear that grease, that's a good thing. All of that went in. I'll wipe that off. All right, so right now I'm taking off the Allen for the ground strap. Ooh. All right, so here's the new strap. As you can see, it's got just an actual regular hex bolt. Make future removals much easier. And that will go in this bottom hole. Here we go. You definitely want to clean these threads out as good as you can too. This way you're not dealing with your hardware binding up on there, the new hardware. So you want to get these threads cleaned out pretty good. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
What you doing?
Just getting some fresh air out here. It's beautiful out.
Just so you know, you're on camera.
Yeah. I'm on camera?
Yeah, I'm actually recording my install here. So.
Alright, I won't ask for the package if it's been delivered.
Yeah, don't ask for the package just yet.
Okay.
The YouTube algorithm might take notice. Battery's dead. How's that possible? Alright guys, so we had a little situation. The sun started hitting us. We were in the shade when we first started, and the sun started hitting the boat pretty good, and the cameras sitting in the sun started to overheat and shut down on the recording. So we should be back at it soon. Just making a couple quick changes, make sure everything's cooled off, and get to mounting the cylinder on, get the lines hooked up, and I'm not sure if I need two people to fill it and prime it, but if I don't, I'll do it myself. If not, I'll obviously come back and we'll grab that and then get it done. So let's get started. Alright, so while the cameras are cooling off, I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the Zerk fittings. One of them has to stay out until we get the cylinder mounted, because the ground strap goes into this side, right? No, this side. So the ground strap has to connect to that as well, which is what makes everything grounded. And so we're going to go ahead and get that started now, just to get this done while the cameras are cooling off. So yeah, I'm going to get that started now. We'll be back shortly. All right, we're back at it. Cameras have cooled off. I think we're okay for a little while, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing mounted. All right, so we're going to slide this over here. There you go. Okay, we're done. Have a good day. I wish. Tighten up that bottom bolt. Remember, it's threaded in, so it's basically holding everything in place for the time being. So it's a little tricky getting your hand in here and doing this, but this bolt is long. Almost there. We're there. All right, now we gotta do the top. Here's the fun part. Getting this little guy can't believe I did that in one shot. I cannot believe that. All right, let's tighten it up. Nice and tight. Still moves freely. Good stuff, good stuff. So first thing we want to do is we want to put this collar on. We got to twist this collar on. This is the collar that will take any slop out of the steering once you get everything assembled. So if there's any jiggle back and forth, you use this to back up to this, and it'll take that slop out. So you just want to thread it all the way on. And we had a washer that went in between. All right, so now we're going to mount the Zerk fitting to this, and the ground strap is right here, so you have to feed that through. It might actually be easier to, yeah, I think it'll be easier to do it like this. Let's install this on, or at least get it mounted, right? So it's in place. It's not all the way on, but it's in place. Now we can mount this. It'll be a lot easier than trying to reposition that to get it back on. Okay, now you also, I'm going to make sure this strap is clear of anything. Don't want it to catch anything. So position it accordingly. And just give this a good snug. Let's get that on there. I think we're good, right? So we'll get big washer, big nut, brand new, came with it. We're gonna put that on just to get it started. We're not gonna tighten everything just yet. I never want to tighten anything that, especially if it articulates in any way, shape, or form. You never want to tighten it right up right away, because then if, God forbid, something's not gonna work, you won't know till it's too late. Keep it a little loose. Okay, grab the new nut and washer for that, for the end of the steering piston. And then you also have your strap, just so you can see. I routed it underneath, so it has nothing to bind on over here. I might actually reposition this so it's a little less pointed up here and a little more slack here, but as long as you keep it in here, it's out of the way of anything that's, you know, moving, any moving part. Let's work on just securing the other side. Like I said before, I installed the Zerk fitting on this one before while the cameras are cooling off. Essentially, we want to do the same thing we did over there. So we're going to slide this on here. Pretty much it. There's no ground strap on this side to worry about, so we can go ahead and put the hardware on. Oh, hold on. Actually, no. So on this side, we have these two new plastic bushings. I call them bushings. I don't know if they're technically bushings or not, but you need that for the proper spacing. And I believe you need that washer there. Let me just double check the manual real quick. So the washer goes on first according to the diagram, then the two spacers, okay, and then the arm. I'm calling this an arm. I'm not sure what the proper, was it telling you in the manual with the number 12 support brackets? I guess it ain't wrong, right? Back to where we were. Big washer, big nut. Before I forget, actually, it is a good idea to put some thread locker on these bolts. Don't need a lot. Just, this is going to help if, you know, for some reason the bolt backs off or tries to back off. It shouldn't back off with thread locker. That's what I'm getting at. And yes, I'm going to go back over to the other side and put thread locker on those too. Alright, so we got everything tightened up. Now we have to get our steering lines hooked up. But I think I want to pump out whatever's in there. Try to get as much of it out as I can into this container. Only because obviously if that fluid's been circulating, it's not in great condition. There's contaminants in it, and I don't want to introduce that into a brand new cylinder. So, but it looks good so far, and I don't really think I have to worry about slop. It kind of, we'll see once we get the so we'll turn this guy back. Right about there, it's touching. I feel like that's going to be good. I'm going to tighten that for now. Once we get hydraulic fluid in the system, and I can then see which, there's no tension on it right now. As you can see, if I just move this, if you just move the motor, it kind of slides pretty easily on that brand new piston. So yeah, we want to definitely get some fluid in the system, and then we'll see, we'll be able to feel if there's any slop. I don't think there will be. Everything feels tight now. It's going to be nice having a steering system that's perfect and not going 4 turns before it does anything. That was not fun. Get that in there. Uh-oh. What did we lose? I think that battery just died. All right, we got another one on charge. All right, we got that nice and snug. Just to show you what I'm talking about. The nut right here, this Allen screw, that's on this collar. This collar pushes up against this knuckle here, and that's what prevents any slop. You want to make sure you get that nice and tight. Everything's bolted up. Everything in there is bolted up. Now the only thing left to do is get the lines drained, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to pause for a second to do that. All right, so off camera, I went up. The lines are disconnected, as you can see here. Quite a bit of fluid in that pan now. And yeah, after pumping that all out, it doesn't look so good. But I went up to the helm, turned the wheel clockwise a bunch, turned it counterclockwise a bunch until I heard the air coming out, basically. So the line should be flushed out. I'm assuming that's the proper way to do it. But yeah, so now I'm going to connect the lines back up. This fitting needs to be spun to face this way to connect to this line, and this line here will connect to this one here. So we're going to get started with that. So I'm going to loosen this lock nut here, so that we can turn this guy. Let's see if I can just turn it. Oh, there you go, perfect. So easy fix. This was pretty much flush before. As you can see right here, the line is going to go behind the tube here and then connect up to that. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this down. I'm going to leave that there for now. I don't want to snug it too much. There you go, you peel that little thing off. We're going to go underneath this, and then you want to start tightening it. It's an awkward spot. So I'm actually going to come around. I'm going to come around the other side. It might be a little easier for me. Okay, it's threading on nicely now. Okay, that's pretty much it. Give it a nice little quick wipe down. Same thing with this side, little pull tab. Get that off. Okay, this got a little bath. So we're going to want to some room to wiggle with that one. And do that. Okay. Just getting started. Alright, so the lines are connected. This one is tight. I'm going to leave that one the way it is. It's lined up perfectly with that. Not sure. I should have let me check my pictures and see how that was sitting before. Alright, so after looking at the pictures, this line does sit right above this nipple here. It's not going to move. This assembly doesn't move. The piston inside moves, so nothing's going to rub, and this is how it was before. I just checked the pictures. I took pictures yesterday. No, actually this morning I took pictures of everything. Make sure I had it going back the same way I had it. So yeah, this was sitting above that like that, and this one was sitting just like this. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that lock nut back there and make sure it's sitting good and pretty, and then we can snug up the lines. And next step after that is going to be filling it up and putting fluid in.
too.
Nice and tight, guys. Oh, we're at a standstill right now. I got the Marine Tech bleeder system set up. So technically all we have to do is hook the bottle up to the helm and drain the, run the hydraulic fluid into it, turning the wheel back and forth, and then this alleviates the need to bleed either side. It self-bleeds, gets all the air bubbles out. At least that's how I was to understand it works. And it did work that way when we topped off the system last year. Problem is, the hydraulic fluid I have is in bottles with the large mouth. I need the bottle with the small mouth, so my plan right now is tomorrow I'm gonna go to West Marine and grab 2 bottles of the fluid, and I'll just have the other stuff as backups, I guess. But this way I'll have the right connection to make the connection to the helm. And then it's simply a matter of turning the wheel a few times to get the fluid all throughout the system. Once you see it's working lock to lock and there's no hesitations, it's good to go. So we'll be back with that tomorrow. All right, we're back at it this morning. It's the next morning, Saturday, and all we have to do now is crack the bleeders and then hook up the jug to the helm station fill and start turning the wheel and let that fluid flow into the system. They say it takes about 2 quarts to do it, so we'll see. We'll confirm that shortly. But yeah, we got the bleeder set up on there already, so hoping that works out. I know last year when we filled it, we had an issue where it hit this right here, this loom, and it actually broke one of the fittings, but we were able to fix it and get it to work again. So hopefully we don't have any of those issues. Unfortunately, I'm trying to do this by myself, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so just off camera, I tilted the motor up a little bit just so that it's sitting a little more level, so that when I do turn it, it's not going to hit the ground or anything like that. I'm going to go up just a little bit more. That should be good. All right, so up here at the helm, right behind the steering wheel, you get this little flap. You open it up, take that cap off. That's the cap right there. So we're going to put this fill tube, this end goes into that, and then the jug connects to this. All right, we're finally getting some reaction from the steering. So it's taking it in. If you can see that from there, but the motor slowly turning towards the starboard side. There we go. And we definitely got good movement going to the left right now. And we'll go back to the right. Still didn't quite take the 2 quarts though, so I'm having a hard time thinking it's full. And it's definitely not full because it's not turning as quick as it should be. But we're going to try to close the bleeders and see what that does as far as how much more it'll move. Alright guys, it's working pretty good. Ooh, I don't know what that sound was. Yep. This is why it's good to have 2 people. I just broke that bleeder. Yeah, so I was turning all the way to the right, and same thing that happened last time. I wasn't able to watch it, so the bleeder system got bound up on the loom for the outboard, and it broke it. I'm going to try to bleed it manually now instead of using the bleeder, which makes a mess, but it'll still get done. So stay tuned. Full tilt. All right, so I think we got it. Wheels turning now. You can see we've got solid motion in both directions. Wheel feels pretty smooth, so I think we're good to go. And we're gonna clean this thing now. So I'm not gonna bore you with that stuff, but I will give you a final shot just to show you that I do take care of this thing. Probably not as good as I should, obviously, but I will make sure it's clean before we take it out. Hopefully either later today or tomorrow we'll get this thing out in the water. So stay tuned. So as promised, I told you I'd show you the boat after it was clean, because it was damn disgusting. So here it is. Quick little shot. It is the next day, so there are probably some things that have blown in it since then, but definitely much cleaner. So, oh yeah. She cleans up nice. Ready to go. So hopefully next Saturday it's supposed to be, so far it's supposed to be like in the 80s and low wind. So we're planning on taking it out at the moment. If anything changes, obviously, you know how it is. South Carolina weather can change in a heartbeat. So you know what they say, if you don't like the weather now, wait 5 minutes. But on that note, steering's fixed. We didn't get a chance to do the trim cylinders just yet, so I'm gonna plan on doing that maybe this week, during the week if I have time. If not, maybe next Sunday. I also, today, I don't know if you can see this without me climbing up there, but I put new lights in, new courtesy lights. The old ones were the chrome bezel, and they were very rusted out, and they were leaving stains on the fiberglass, on the gel coat. So I decided to swap them out for these. These ones, when you turn them on, they come on as white, and then you toggle it on and off, and every time you toggle it off, it changes color. So it goes from white to blue to red to green, or something like that. So nice little touch. Definitely a good touch to be able to light up the area while at night if need be. Looks cool to have the other colors as well. If you guys like this content, please hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends that might be interested in it as well. We plan on doing a lot more videos this year. Trying to get out there, like I said, next Saturday. I'm not sure I'm going to do a video for the trim cylinders, but we've got some other projects that we might have a video for. You guys seem to like those instructional videos. So like I did the ramp and clamp video, still holding up great, by the way. It's a little dirty right now, but the ramp and clamp is doing its job. For those that don't know, boat2trailer.com. You take your straps off, you take your chain off. Once the boat is in the water floating, you just pull this lever, pops right off. Makes it so much easier to get in and out of the water. And when you come back in, you just ride up till it clicks, pull the boat out, you're good to go. Worth every penny. I think they're still around just over $300 for the setup. Definitely worth getting and checking out. But that's it. Like I said, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.